I'm going to write a little book for whatever we come up with just to show you that as well. But what are we going to do today? We're going to speed run a business idea. I'm going to make a little website. I'm going to build a basic of the software, and then I'm going to write a book around it. And then I'm going to create a book funnel as well. If you've been to any of my other classes, that you have to have an idea, and then you build it, then you launch it. And the marketing that I suggested was actually building a brand around yourself. And the easiest way to do that is through writing a book. And then you can go on a podcast tour. You guys remember that from a previous class? So the first thing that we need to do is figure out what the problem, the solution, and the avatar are. Then we'll come up with the minimum viable feature. Then we'll make a landing page prompt and then we'll create a meet the founder and book section. Then we'll come up with a software prompt. And then I'm going to write a book real quick for you guys so that you can have authority. So I'm going to do this all in 1 hour. So here's the idea that we're going for. I'm just going to use ChatGPT to make a better prompt. Hey, we're creating a brand web app software for this idea. Come up with a name and the basic features that I'm just going to use ChatGPT because it's going to be a little bit faster. Lingua Lens, Polyglot Play, Ecolingua, PictoTalk, Lingua Live. Lingua Live is good. Let's go with Lingua Live. Make a prompt for Famous.ai where it will create the landing page for this business and get the following wireframe: hero section, headline, CTA to download, sticky header, logo left, login right, about us, where the top footer with terms and conditions and privacy policy. Second section is testimonials grid. Third is a PSL centered. Fourth is benefits stack. Left image FAQ. Meet the founder section with an image of a book that she wrote, Veronica from Portland. Then a CTA section at the bottom. Write all the copy and be detailed about the wireframe brand and spacing for. Okay. So it's a little bit of work up front, but something like this will be much better. I don't like emojis. Go to the Famous, do a web app, paste this in, and start to generate. I'm going to go back to this and say, let's create a book for Veronica to begin and a brief synopsis. It should help her sell the software by building her authority about language learning. Fluent mindset. How about that? Okay, I'm going to go to, I own a software called BookDaddy. This is my software. I don't know if you guys have seen DL.ai, but while it's building this, I'm just going to go here. So we have nonfiction apps. So we have something called an idea expander. So I'm going to give it this basic idea and then it will expand the idea. So this is a white label of Deal.ai. So we've had over 10,000 members with BookDaddy. So I think I'm the #1 white label of Deal.ai. So this is going to generate like a more detailed book. I'm just doing this while this is working on that. I'm working on this. You guys can see we'll work on a lot of things all at once, but you'll see how far we can come with some focused attention. And then we'll say book cover idea visually for this book. Give me 5 prompts. Oh, this is cool. Let's see where we're at. That's still working. That's good. This works. So this gave me like a longer outline of the book. I'm going to send it to the outline wizard. This is just, I don't know if you guys have used Deal.ai, but so what it'll do is you can link the different apps. So I linked the idea to this, and then what it's going to do is it's going to fill out. So it's called an outline wizard, and it's going to give me an outline of the book. We'll see. You can see I'm coming up with the outline for the book that's going to help with Veronica's brand and authority in the space. Okay, so this is going to fill out this form. There was an error. Let's go back, try it again. Sometimes it just, if you came late, you can read this little thing here. What are we doing? We're going to speed run. Veronica just gave me an idea for a language app. So we're just going to do, and I'm going to make a little website. I'm going to make the software, and then I'm going to write a book about it. And then we're going to create a book funnel as well, just so that if you haven't been to any of my classes, I own a software called BookDaddy. I'm using my own software. It's called BookDaddy. This is my software. So I'm using my software, which is, if you don't know me, I've worked with some of the best-selling authors in the world. Ryan Holiday, Lewis House. You guys probably know a lot of these guys. Ariana Huffington, etc. So I'm big in the publishing world as well. I don't know if you guys knew that, but anyways. Oh, there's an error. It must be too much information. We'll just go to, okay, so here's we can actually skip the outline, I think. That's probably best. That's what we'll do. We'll skip the outline and we'll just go directly to the ghostwriter. So if you go back, because I have these organized by nonfiction, fiction, romance, fantasy, science fiction, website tools, marketing, all sorts of, this is, if you guys have been inside of Deal that I have, this is mine. So we have these ghostwriters. I'm going to start a new chat. Hey, me, write this book. Here's the outline. Now I want to write a very short ebook, maybe 5 chapters. What do you recommend? Of 5 sections for each chapter, and this will be to build Veronica's authority for software. So that'll be working on the background. Oh, maybe there's a bug. There must be a bug. I can just do it in ChatGPT then. We'll focus on the software. Okay, cool. So we have something here. It's got a basic landing page. The software. Let's create a prompt to actually build the software. Only include what's absolutely necessary, but also be very detailed. The core functionality is choosing the language and talking to someone over voice video prompt for Famous.ai. So we'll go in here. Let's build the app. And I click on login. It should come up. We'll sign up, but you can create a dummy login bypass for now, so I can work on stuff. In the meantime, here's the prompt to build a web app. Make sure the menu items are on the left and the core functionality is large. And the upper menu should go back to website button and a button where you can change your profile settings. And then I copy and paste that. The book cover creator, the name of the book again. I don't think we actually came up with the name. Let's choose one now. Casanova's kind of funny. So you guys know how nonfiction books work. Basically, there's usually parts. I'll give you like a speed run of this. So you have a main thesis in nonfiction. So this is like your argument. And then your introduction basically is a pitch to why you should read it. And then chapter 1 is the big idea. Chapter 2 is basically the entire book quickly summarized, like step by step, basically almost like a table of contents. This is like how most big books are. Then chapter 3 is like the first mini concept, and then you keep on going down until you get to the end. And usually there's like something like 16 to 22 chapters. And then every chapter is organized like this. So there's a story that's interesting. And then there's a lesson about the story. Then there's something called the nuts and bolts, which is basically the how-to. And there's more proof, which are more mini stories. And then there's the exact application. And then there's a transition to the next chapter, which is opening up a new question. So this is like how every single chapter is done. And so the only difference between a mini book and a main book is that you'll just have fewer chapters. Let's assume every chapter of the book is organized like this, and I want it to be just 5 mini chapters. What do you suggest as an outline? Okay, this is not bad. Bubble voice. This looks cool, huh? Famous is doing this. Okay, I'm gonna add this as the book image we just made. Join, I think I changed the title. I can change the title later. The big idea is I just want you guys to see how far you can get done quickly. Go to Google Docs, make it a little smaller, just so I can see the actual size. Insert image. Okay, so we can see it. Chapter 1, chapter 2, fun. It sounds like Mel Robbins' voice, use, research, and so 3,000. So we have a nice little software here. Let's see what it did with the login. Yeah, you can log into the demo. Okay, cool. That's interesting. this is overlapped. Start new room. So you can chat with video. And you can chat. Oh, interesting. And I translated it live. Okay, cool. So a couple problems right away that we see here is now we're going to troubleshoot this screenshot that the opacity is off when you click the drop down from the language settings, you can still see the background, which makes it impossible to redesign the language drop down so they're more user and readable. I also see we need like an actual avatar. I'll do that in a second for you. All right, let's say nonfiction book or narrative. Also, it should be strong first and a bit funny, right? Section. Okay, what's chapter one? So we'll do a spokesperson video real quick. I'm gonna go to deal for that. I don't know if you guys use deal at all. Spokesperson. Veronica, what do you look like? Matter to you? My computer's like, you're doing 5 things at the same time. Again, that's better. Start new. The video, add a thumbnail of a human that you're talking to, and also add a voice section where you can just do audio only. You should be able to talk video, audio, or just chat. All the above project script.
There is no great. The years teach much, which the day. Our distrust is.
Nature is immutable.
Government ideas are the begin.
I always like Matilda is generally my favorite overall. I'll do generate avatar. I do landscape. Oh, wait, hang on. Middle-aged Latina. Maybe we should add like a really interesting background. In front of the, we're just, by the way, a BSL is just a commercial. So we're going to make the commercial for the website. That's fine. It's also a little moody. That's fine. We're going to generate this in the background. Skip this super base. Do a new first chapter right at the end and transition to the second chapter. Yeah, you can upload a picture. I'm going to take a screenshot of it. I'm just basically telling it what's wrong. It's not created. Let's see. Doing a lot of things all at once, but I love how we're just like writing a book at the same time. I didn't want this, but it's Famous is writing in the background. If you don't remember, this is what we're doing. I got a business idea from Veronica, which is like a translation software. We're making the software, we're making the app, we're making the website, we're writing a book about it to build our authority, and then we're going to create a little book funnel as well. And we already have the book cover and the outline of it. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Alex's business partner. And I own Book Daddy, which is the #1 white label of deal. I've had over 10,000 paying members. And I also want to say, we do this together where we build the software. If you want us to build your software, we can. And then if you want to see any of my old classes, you can go to here. They're all here for free. Let's see where we're at. Login. I don't like the way this looks, but I'll deal with it later. It's fine. Okay, Spanish, join your room. There we go. That's a little bit better. Video chat, audio only, text chat. Nice. Audio, start audio session, video chat, text chat. I don't think text, I think the chat on the right, chat on the right column is now that we have the 3 toggles in the mid video, audio. Yes. So remove the 3rd column chat, but also make the video, audio, and text actually workable, not just computer. They'll probably ask me for super base. Do you guys see what I was doing there? Basically, it was like the text part of it was redundant because there was a menu that was asking for video, audio, or text, and then there was a text on the right, and so it's like redundant. So I just told it to redo that. I probably should have had them facing. Let's move this to Vimeo. Choose a file. This is uploading. So this is uploading. What we're doing. This is getting pretty good together for speed. Okay, nice. So it did that. It took away what I wanted. Audio only. Start audio session. Start recording. Text chat. Text. Cool. Video chat. Start video call. Okay, cool. I'm going to take screenshots of this and do preview. Start a new room. Make this a little bit smaller so I can see it. You guys understand what I'm doing. Take a couple screenshots. Do audio, text, back to the website. And then I'm going to add the image section right below the VSL. Put these 3 images. The headline should be see what's inside the 3 images are learn by chat, learn by voice, learn by video. Make this section nice. So I'm taking basically screenshots of the actual, now that the software is built. Obviously, we'd have to connect it to Supabase and our OpenAI key, but now that it's built, we want to sell the actual software. So we take the screenshots of it and then we're going to put it there. Oh no, that's not right. Like that. This should be done. Share, public, copy link. And then the next one I'll add this as the VSL to the page. Why do we need to connect to OpenAI? So that it has a brain, so it actually can do something. Add this as the VSL. I'm just copying and pasting the Vimeo link. China, on average, how many messages do you build? Oh, a lot. The first iteration, probably 10, but to actually build the entire thing quite a bit. If you're worried about messages, I know everyone's budget is different. If you're this type of software a year ago would probably cost like $200,000, literally, probably more, to be honest. So whatever number of messages you're using, it's essentially rounds to zero in terms of cost. In theory, should all the functions, including, no, they won't function without OpenAI because they need a brain. There's no brain. This is just Famous is not connected to an LLM. So it needs its own brain. Translator went live yesterday. Nice. Good. Yeah, I'm going fast, obviously. I think for you guys, the quality of the prompt matters. So you'll notice that I'll tell it something specific. I'll tell it what not to do. And I also tell it the reason. Ironically, Famous is actually pretty smart. It will do it better if you tell it why. It's like a regular developer. If you just give them tasks like they're a VA, then they might follow the rules and almost too dramatically. And then if you're not super precise in particular, then you actually can make a mistake. Whereas if you give it precise instructions, but also give it why, it will often use its decision making to make it even better. The last 5% is like 90% of it, to be honest. Oh, I see what it did. Oh, that's actually not bad. I see what it's done. That's cool. Okay, so we have this is not exactly perfect, but you get the idea. Learn any language with your voice and photos. Well, the photos element we didn't really do, but you have testimonials here. This is like a live.
Imagine learning a new language the same way you learned your first one, by living it, hearing it, and speaking it in real time. That's exactly what we built LinguaLive to do. Forget dry flashcards and endless grammar drills. With LinguaLive, you choose your language, then jump straight into conversation.
So then, it's got the audio, video, that sort of thing. It's got a little features of the actual software, benefit section, feature section. FAQ is basically answering objections. A little bit Veronica. We had a little book here, and then that. So we did pretty good. And then in terms of the actual book, I didn't get completely done with it, but I got pretty far along, 40 pages. You can see. I just download this as a PDF. I think I can. Just gonna upload it to create a funnel or add a CTA button below the book image where people can download the book. Use this link for the book. So we have 3 chapters of the book done, but I just uploaded to Dropbox and then I shared the link with Famous. So we have a landing page, we have a VSL, we have a pretty wireframe of the software. We'd have to connect OpenAI. We'd have to connect Supabase, obviously, to make sure that everything works functionality. We'd have to connect Stripe. But we also now have a book, which the reason why I talk about this, if you go back to some of my previous lessons, I always say you should have authority. And the easiest way to build your authority is to write a book about whatever you're doing. And so if it's about language, you should have a book about language. If it's about sales, you should have a book about sales. And what that does is it allows you to have credibility when people are deciding whether or not to actually buy your software. Yeah, download the free book. There you go. The link doesn't work, but I could just do this, honestly. This is probably easier. But it's make open this new tab. And what it does is it allows you to actually go on like a book tour. We have a process with Book Daddy. We've had over 60 #1 Amazon bestsellers this year already. We have clients that we help them write their books and do all the editing and do all the marketing and do all of the publishing. We have a #1 Amazon bestseller guarantee. So literally every single person that we've worked with has been an Amazon bestseller because we're just that good at it. And what it does is it allows them to then start going on podcast tours, and then they have a call to action and they can arbitrage other people's attention. So if you guys are finishing up a software coaching program, Brian, I'm finishing one course, whatever, and you think, but I'm scared to run ads. One, you shouldn't be scared to run ads, but let's say you are scared to run ads. The best way is to go on a podcast tour. And the easiest way to go on a podcast tour is to write a book because then you're leading with value because you're an expert. So having a book both increases the conversion rate that you will on your website. Okay, so you can see the preview link here. Cool. People can log in. I would change this, but I don't have too much time left in the class. It's got the different languages. You start a new room, then you can switch from audio, text, video. And also, we have a live VSL.
Learning a new language.
And we have screenshots of the features. And we have a little ebook that we created. So not bad. Guys, I'll share the preview link if you guys want to take a look at it in the chat. So you can get a lot done in an hour, huh? Pretty crazy. Just as a summary, I didn't have this idea ahead of time, by the way. I came up with these prompts on the fly. Veronica said, I think it was one sentence basically. So it was like it's a language app. I don't think I understood exactly what you meant by the photos, but anyways, it's a translation learning app. So what we did is I went into ChatGPT and I said, hey, this is the idea. Let's expand it, but let's come up with one major differentiating factor. Then let's turn that into a landing page. And we had a really detailed prompt for the landing page. And then we had a prompt to figure out the wireframe of the software. And we created a prompt for that. We did a bypass Supabase just so we could go really quickly. There were a couple problems. I think I did maybe 4 messages to upgrade because it didn't understand the chat feature. It didn't have an audio feature, so I added those. And then while I was working on that, we came up with a book cover, a book outline, and a book idea. And for the book outline and the book cover, we used my own software called bookdaddy.ai, which is the #1 white label on deal.ai. So anyway, that's a summary of everything that we did. And if we wanted to go live with this, it probably would be maybe like a day of a developer's time, maybe 4 to 8 hours probably to hook up Stripe and Supabase and OpenAI and to connect it all and just make sure that it works. And then we probably want to use a CRM, either Lead Falcon or Go High Level. And I'd finish the book, but I could probably finish the book in the next 2 or 3 hours if I put my head down. And by the way, I have books that I'm going to use AI maybe 10 or 20% of it because it's my baby. I have a lot of books that I've written. I'm a novelist, a fiction novelist as well. If you're an author and it's in your soul, this book, I'm not saying you should write it that fast with AI, but if it's an authority book where it's to increase the conversion rate and also to allow you to go on a podcast where you can talk about your software and talk about your higher ticket products, whether it's coaching or consulting or services or whatever you may be. Having a book, very few people do it. Even with AI, very few people do it because it's funny. People say there's all these books coming out with AI, but the reason why the number of books are increasing, it's because there are like 10,000 super writers that have systems where they're putting out literally a book a day or multiple books a day, and they're just selling them for 99 cents. And that's their business model is they have all of these books out there in all of these sub niches. But those people are not like authorities in their space. So still, even with AI, it's a good idea to write a book. So yeah, if you guys are interested in the book stuff, you should join bookdaddy.ai. It's my software. And there's a community and we do classes and stuff like that. But also obviously with Famous, we do that as well. So you guys have any questions? It's pretty cool what you can do in an hour. Any questions, concerns? Anyone want to write a book? Anyone want help with anything? I think I'm going to have an event for book writing maybe next weekend, but I haven't decided. So maybe next week I'll let you guys have it. I'll give you guys a little pitch for my next event, but I don't really have anything right now. So if you guys are, by the way, like if you want to be in my community, you should join bookdaddy.ai or you should continue to come to these classes. I do this every Saturday and all of that's free. BookDaddy, I think, is like $27 a month or something. It's super cheap. My events are usually like $100 whenever I have them. But to work with me directly, like Jonathon you're going to talk to me and I'm going to be involved. I'm not cheap, just so you know. I'm obviously very good. Just, I'm happy to have a quick chat with anyone. But if you guys are serious about either writing a book, becoming a bestseller, building your authority, or finishing your software, totally schedule a call with me. Absolutely. But I'm just letting you know I'm not cheap. So I don't know if that is good for you or that scares you away, but just letting you know. BookDaddy.ai. It's kind of I have a lot of retainers and I have a lot of software. So, when you have recurring revenue that kind of just happens automatically, you're very careful about your time and who you're going to work with and why and that sort of thing. But if you got a really cool thing and or you got a book idea and you've always wanted to be an author, I'm good at both. I'm good at the software side and the funnel side. I wrote a funnel way back when, like 2019, that was like second highest grossing funnel in ClickFunnels history. So I'm really good at funnels as well. Yeah, but listen, if we get involved, it's not only not going to be garbage, it's going to be really impressive. And what we do is we'll take whatever you have, and then we have different editors for different phases. So we have a plot and outline editor, and then we have a sentence by sentence editor, and then we have a line by line editor, then we have a typesetting editor, then we have designers for all the book covers. We'll make an audiobook. I own a audiobook app called Kafka, which is a free audiobook app. It has like over 3,000 titles on it. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you guys can go to Kafka in the audiobook platform. Me and Alex built that this year. We both like books. So it's a competitor of Audible, basically. And all of our authors are there as well. Anyways, yeah, if you guys are serious about books, like if you guys think I'm good at software or funnels, like I'm better at books, actually. That's my real thing is books. So probably the best way for you guys the only way that you can like directly go to my calendar is if you go here to the bottom here. This is like our software thing. You guys can, oh, there looks like there are only a couple spots. Actually, how about this? You can tell I don't really do a lot of private stuff, but my screen's not showing. How about this? Everyone that wants to work with me, email me. And it's actually a good filter because if you're too shy to email me, then it's probably going to be annoying to work with you. No offense. So, Jonathan at book.e.ai. If you have a book or your software, you want to just email me. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. I'm not scary. Just, hey, I'm working on a book. Hey, I'm working on my software. Hey, I need help with whatever. That's probably the best way. Just email me and we'll start to chat. I probably send 50 to 100 emails a day and I probably send 700 WhatsApps every day. So you can't bother me with email or WhatsApp, to be honest. Yeah, it is for sure. Everyone's got to listen for a good writer, which our editors are really good writers. I always say, think of like Ulysses as like a super famous book, and it's like just a boring day from one person's life. Some of the best, if you're a good enough writer, anything can be meaningful. So it's not, yeah, I wouldn't think about if you guys were like, oh, is it valuable or is it worth it? It's like, if you write it well enough, it's for sure going to be worth it. Absolutely. Which again, now with AI and with editors, it's easier than it's ever been to like write something really good. So I'm passionate about this. If you guys have any little inkling of like an idea for a book, it's also just an artifact for your family. It's an artifact for you. Every person that we publish, it's so funny. Like we do a podcast with them afterwards, and like so many of them said that their life has changed, not just necessarily from like book sales or authority, or that's helpful, but more importantly, it's like an identity shift. Like when you're a published author, it's like there's just something about it that's you feel like you like no matter what, you're gonna have left something behind. It's very powerful. Anyways, I don't want to get off on a side tangent, but my heart and soul is really in the book world. I just happen to be overlapping with the software world as well. Honestly, the best way to do it is just like, do it right now. Just literally be like, action cures fear. It doesn't have to be perfect. There is no such perfect. You could literally be like, hey, this is me practicing what you said. Do you guys know where action fear comes from? Comes from called extreme ownership. So it says that fear is actually the anticipation of something. And the way to overcome the fear is to just take the action. And that happens with you. How many times have you done that? How many times have you thought to yourself, you overblown something, whether it was a conversation or a purchase or a life decision or whatever it may be, and you just circle, 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 and you think you're going to figure it out in your head, and you're not going to figure it out in your head. It's another great book, Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. It says, if it's in your wheelhouse, 99.5% of the time, whatever your first instinct is correct. And then it's your lower self that's fighting your first instinct. And it's the fear, it's doubt, it's whatever. So The way to get over it is just to take action. John, I'm serious. This is actually something that I do. I have a rule that if I'm a little hesitant about something and it takes less than 5 minutes to do, I have to do it immediately. Does that make sense? The condition is if I'm a little uncomfortable about it, but it takes less than 5 minutes, it's like you have to do it. Just do it and you'll feel immediately better because that 5 minutes, crazy, but sometimes with people, that 5 minutes will turn into 3 months, 6 months, a year. I don't know if you remember from last week, but I have a company that we help startups raise money and more like advanced digital marketing stuff. And the number of startups where someone's, oh yeah, I've been like, this has been percolating. I've been thinking about this for 3 years. And I'm like, they say that it's a badge of honor. I'm like, that's bad. You shouldn't have been working on something for 3 years. That means you're too slow. That means you're indecisive. That means you're procrastinating. That means you're worried about it. That means you're living in fear. Just take action. And like the worst case scenario is never that bad. It's just never that bad. The last bestseller that we just had came out 3 days ago, the number one bestseller. And it was on how to get government grants as a small business. So it was a very technical book. This is how you can approach getting grants or how you can get contracts from the government. Because a lot of people don't know how to do that. It's a lot of red tape, a lot of bureaucracy, but there's also a lot of money. Who's the biggest spender in the United States? The government's the biggest spender. So where do they spend their money? They have third parties, like a lot of businesses. So, anyways, it's a very technical thing. Yeah, technical is great. Technical is even easier. So, technical is easier to become a bestseller because there's less competition. And then usually technical has a really good upsell path, whether it's like consulting or services or speaking or that sort of thing. So, whatever technical thing you are, there's probably companies or entities or clients that are trying to solve that technical problem. And a lot of times, if it's technical, they're like, okay, here's the how to, but also, can you just do it for me? That happens all the time. Writing a book about building, let's say you wanted to build a supercomputer, like you wanted to learn how to build a computer from scratch. I've thought about doing that. I for sure would read a book and I for sure would do the testimonial. But at the end of the day, even if I did that, I'd probably end up like hiring someone locally. Just be like, can you do it? And if the person that wrote the book was able to be hired, I would hire that person because they're the authority in my mind. It's like I'm connecting this problem to that person. So that's the beauty of writing a book. And also, it's not like a TikTok thing. It's not 30 minutes, it's 30 seconds here and there. They've spent 5 to 10 hours of their life with you, whether it's reading or audio. And so you have, think of like the webinar idea for what's his name? $100 million leads, Alex Hormozy. He just did his webinar that broke all the records. But people don't realize like that webinar he was on for 10, 12 hours. Why did he do that? Because the people that were like, there were some people that knew him and they've watched a lot of his content, but there were also people that didn't. And he stayed on 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. So that's the kind of when someone like listens to your audiobook or they're reading a book with you, they're spending so much time with you that anything that you have to offer them, they're probably going to want to buy. How IT and AI, yeah, that's like the fastest growing industry in the world. And all the big companies and the small companies are paying people to like help them. So again, if you're like this, you're a business owner and you're like, oh, how do I use like IT and AI? Like how many companies are thinking that? It's like half the companies in the world. So there's a massive market for it. And who are they going to hire? If there's someone that's written a book about it, they're probably going to hire the person that's written a book about it. This is, you guys need to notice the pattern here. That's the important thing. Even if you are in your 60s, I'm not sure what you're referring to. The process of reinvention seems tough for folks. This is tough for everyone. It's just a story that you tell yourself. You're older, you're wiser, you have more experience. But think about it this way. So you guys know the concept of like soft skill versus hard skill. So you have hard skills, like coding, or I know a language, or plumbing, whatever. It's like an actual technical thing. I'm an architect. I can use CAD, computer aided design. I can use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's like a very technical skill. Then there's soft skills like leadership, discipline, adaptability, how fast you can learn, communication, sales, this kind of thing. Some people say sales is a hard skill, but you get the idea. Hard versus soft skills. And soft skills are more important because they are the ones that are applicable no matter what the hard is. That's the way to think about it. So some people think it's like soft versus hard, but it's actually soft skills are the base. And then the hard skills change depending on what's happening on the industry, depending on what's happening with software, depending on what's happening. So think about it this way. Like Lindy, let's say you're a developer and you've been doing like coding for the last 5 years. A lot of what you've learned is being disrupted. And how you deal with that disruption is harder if you're technical. And people that are younger, generally speaking, don't have the wisdom of those soft skills to be able to adapt as quickly. So that's just a story you can tell yourself. Older people have been through a lot more. Like you're not going to catastrophize things the way younger people will. That's the main thing. I love how stoic old people are. They're just like, it'll be fine because they've been through so many undulations. So, anyways, age doesn't matter. It's just how you view it. Yeah, and guys, I always think about life. I'm turning 40 this year, and I feel like I'm like one third. I believe with medical technology, the average age of my generation will probably be over 100. Ray Kurzweil has a really good book called The Singularity, and he predicted that in 2032, which is coming up. He predicted this in like 1985. He was the guy who was deep into the silicon chip software world. And he basically predicted the exponential curve of technology because technology is used to create the next generation of technology. So the better technology is, the faster the rate of change is for technology, which just makes sense. You think about the difference in technology from like 1850 to 1650 to 1850. It's a couple things were invented. But then you think of the second half of the 20th century, it's crazy. The 21st century has been crazy. And now every 3 months, something's disrupted. So it's because technology it's like a snake that's eating its own tail and getting stronger. So it's faster and faster and faster over time. And he said that the rate of medical technologies will be such that in 2032, the life expectancy, the average life expectancy will increase 1 year every year. So at some point, it's like the technology is I'm not saying that we're all gonna live forever. That's not my point. But I think we're gonna live longer for sure. And anyway, so I always think about I'm turning 40 this year, 39, and I feel like it's probably going to be like my one third. So I'm like, man, I'm going to have so many epochs in my life, like all sorts of crazy things. So you can reinvent yourself. It's your decision in your own brain. You come up with a plan, you make a landing page, you make the software, you connect it to Supabase, you connect it to OpenAI, you connect it to any API key that you need. If it's buggy, then maybe hire a developer, or if you got a lot of money, just hire someone to do it for you. I'll come up with something. We'll see you next Saturday, guys. Great. Talk soon, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.